Take a crowd, any crowd, or just take the men in the crowd, all wearing wool in some form or other, and rightly so, for of all the fibers from which man has made his clothing, nothing through the centuries has measured up to the comfort, appearance, and durability of wool. A suit or a tie or a pair of socks starts here in the shearing shed. The fleeces are shorn to be taken to the mill for grading and sorting. Here too the blending is done, a job for specialists, for this is the raw product from which finished suit lengths will come. Now the wool is scoured to remove all dirt and grease, the first of many washings. It's little wonder that a woolen garment won't shrink. After scouring, the wool is dried and taken to carding machines which tease out the fibers to form a long, unbroken sliver of wool. The noble comb takes out short fibers and any foreign matter and straightens the fibers which remain. After going through many more processes, the yarn is wound onto spools ready for the weaving loom. And all the time, yarns are being tested for twist and strength and elasticity. Yarns for suitings, for hosiery, for knitted wear. Strong and durable, light and soft. This is wool. Wool has long been regarded as the ideal fibre for knitted garments, and Australia's knitting industry, using the most modern machinery, is producing a great range of knitted fabrics in a wide variety of designs and patterns, from almost gossamer fineness to the heaviest, warmest fabrics. There are two main methods of machine knitting, flatbed and circular. On this flatbed machine, the fineness of the fabric is determined by the number of needles used per inch. In the production of outerwear, such as cardigans and jumpers, manufacturers have used a wide variety of machines in the finishing processes. One of these is this looping machine, which knits in the neckband of a cardigan. There are machines to do the most intricate jobs, as well as ordinary sewing machines, which are used to sew in the pockets. Ingenious machines like this one, which sews on buttons faster than you can say it. Scientific research has developed exceptionally efficient methods of making wool unshrinkable. The modern knitted garment can be washed and pressed time and time again, and it will still retain its shape and appearance. Add to this the other qualities of wool, its warmth, wearability, and absorbency, and you account for some of the reasons for the popularity of woolen knitteds. The finished garment has been inspected at all stages of making. Now it receives its final inspection before being dispatched for sale. The soft, absorbent and form-fitting qualities of wool makes it the ideal fibre for all types of hosiery, light for summer, warm for winter. The socks come from the bottom of the cylinder in a continuous line, with the machine automatically making adjustments to fashion the calf, ankle and toe. As the socks come from the machine, they receive their first inspection before going to the linking machine, which closes up the toe. Skilled operators are needed here, as the stitches on each side of the toe have to be matched exactly. The loose threads are then removed by means of this suction machine, which draws in and cuts off any excess threads. There are several finishing operations yet, including another light scouring to ensure all oil, waste or impurities are removed. The socks are now complete, but by no means ready for sale. Then after drying, the socks are put onto wooden shapes in the form of human legs and placed between hot presses to give the necessary flatness and finish. The socks are examined again as they come from the press, and they will receive their final and most thorough examination before they go to be graded, sorted into pairs, branded and folded, ready for packing. Tough socks for school wear, for sport, for hiking or for the office. Light, warm, and all made from wool. Back in the mill, the warp or lengthwise threads are tied by hand to a loom beam. The order in which they're drawn through the eyelets of the heel determines the weave of the cloth. But our woolen mills are becoming increasingly more mechanized, and in most of them, automatic warp tying and pin dropping machines are used. After many processes, the yarn reaches the loom, and as each shuttle moves across the warp, the fabric takes shape. And here is the shuttle working in slow motion. You can actually see the cloth being woven. The cloth is steamed under pressure, and this has had the effect of setting the cloth. Now all that remains is the folding and the winding ready for dispatch. Length upon length of high-quality suiting. So let's go to the factory and see how suits are made. In factories like this, real craftsmanship is applied to quantity production. Measurement records of thousands of men enable factories to make ready-to-wear suits in more than 100 different fittings. After trousers are sewn up, they're placed inside out on a legging machine where suction removes excess threads. The ingenious suction pipe draws the threads in and then cuts them off. The trousers are inspected while they're on the legging machine, and having been passed, they go to the presses. One remarkable quality of wool is that it will take a crease under a hot press, and yet is largely crease-resistant because of the springy quality of the wool fibers themselves. In the coat section, coats and linings pass from one part of the floor to another until the coat is completed. In an ordinary three-piece suit, there are over 50,000 stitches, and that isn't counting the many extra thousands sewn in for basting purposes. There are more than 130 operations needed in the production of a suit, and basting plays an important part in keeping the coat's shape through all subsequent operations. After the linings have been sewn in, the excess material is trimmed off. This is quantity production, but tailoring is still a very personalized craft despite the increased use of machines. The coat is checked frequently as it's passed from one section to another. After further basting, girls check and pair the shoulders, ready for the first fitting on the dummy. The dummy, of course, is accurately made to size, so that the set of the shoulders and the hang of the coat can be carefully checked. The coat has almost finished its journey. A few more stitches up the side, and it's ready to go to the presses again. The iron plays a most important part after every step in the tailoring process. In another section, the shoulder pads are fitted and sewn in. This method of quantity production ensures that every operation is carried out by a specialist in each particular phase of production. And here's a job that really calls for an expert. The sleeves must be sewn in carefully, because even a slight error could upset the hang of the coat itself and the set of the shoulders. Again, the iron is used to mold the shape of the coat, and once the shape is formed, it will last the lifetime of the suit. It's no wonder that tailors prefer wool cloths. The coat has been watched through every stage of production, and after this final pressing, it goes on to the dummy again for its last inspection. Collars, sleeves, lapels and shoulders checked, and a critical eye on the hang of the coat. Ready-to-wear suits are produced with all the skill that modern machinery and skilled craftsmen will allow, and if it's an all-wool suit, it will keep its appearance and give lasting satisfaction. But perhaps you prefer to have your suits hand-tailored, so you go to a tailor you choose yourself. The hand tailor also prefers to with wool. Most, in fact, insist on it, for they know that only an all-wool cloth gives all the qualities of drape, feel, and appearance. The tailor has been a craftsman right through the ages, and he takes a pride in the suits he makes, each of them custom-made to individual measurement. The measurements are transferred to the cloth by means of a pattern which is cut and kept for each individual customer. In the hand tailor's workroom, each tailor receives a suit to complete, and only he works on it. It takes several hours to sew thousands of stitches in the basting operations, and all these stitches eventually will be removed, but they will hold the coat in shape during its handling. Over 50 years' experience, and he still prefers cloth made from 100% wool. The reasons he gives? Because of wool's handling, its shape retention, and its durability. He's seen fashions change a lot, but he's found nothing to take the place of wool. Nothing. This tailoress is putting the finishing stitches in a vest. It will still take many hours to complete this suit, many hours of patient stitching. The art of tailoring doesn't change, but the cloth he uses has greatly improved over the centuries, with new qualities like shrink-proofing, moth-proofing, and durable creasing added to woolen fabrics. In hand-tailored suits, all pressing is done by hand, and all sections of the suit are continually pressed as they're sewn in. Now the coat has almost been completed, but it's not yet received its final stitching. Before it does, it'll be tried on the customer. Generally, the tailor will wish the coat to be tried on 3 times during making, and each time he will mark any alterations, no matter how slight, which will improve the fit and the hand of the coat. The sleeves are sewn in again, this time to stay, following the lines chalked on the coat by the tailor during the final try-on by the customer. One of the greatest advantages of wool over all other fabrics is the fact that it can be molded to shape. A straight-cut piece of cloth is shaped almost in the form of a boomerang with a hot iron, and the tailor knows that the cloth will retain that shape for the whole life of the garment. With other fabrics, he can't be sure. A few degrees variation in heat doesn't matter with wool, but other fabrics will be molded unevenly if the iron is hotter at one point than another. Now, painstakingly, the shape collar is sewn into the coat, making certain that it sets correctly. The master tailor says wool is the easiest material in the world to work with because it is so versatile, so easy to shape, and so tenacious in retaining that shape. To the craftsman, the production of a suit is a matter of pride, and the well-fitting coat is a masterpiece in individual design. The coat is almost finished. The few final stitches go in, and it's ready for its final pressing. Here is a suit to be proud of, hand-tailored from the world's finest cloth. A suit made to give year after year of service. A suit that can be cleaned and pressed time and time again, and always look as if it's just come out of the box. But whether it's a hand-tailored or ready-to-wear suit, or a wool tie, a cardigan, a pair of socks, or a top coat, if it's in wool, it's a natural. And this man knows that wool not only looks good, but it feels good.